All right, you're set.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I came up here from Corpus Christi this morning. I'm from San Antonio, originally grew up in Lockhart. Worked all through Central Texas, Austin. I saw New Braunfels guys here earlier. I was talking to them about Atlanta Park earlier. I've been in sports and recreation my entire life. Since I was a little kid. Well, I was never really little, but I mean, you know, kind of a big dude, right? I'm gonna go off topic first for a second. You tell me. In the lectures you go to and you sit down, right? Even this one right now. How easy are you distracted? How easy are you with your phone? Be honest, because I was in our last lecture and I love what you're speaking about. But I look around the room and I see people's heads going like this because we're all looking at our phones. I'm guilty of it too, right? How many of you watched football games yesterday? How many of you watched football games like this? True or false? We have an unlimited wealth of knowledge at our fingertips that we never had in our history, ever. And it's so easy to get distracted. I do it all the time. I coach soccer, that's my primary sport. I coach high school girls soccer. We had a game yesterday in San Antonio. We only had 11 players, we had no subs. I'm coaching the team, right? And every few minutes I'm grabbing my phone, why? I'm not expecting anything, just have it, right? I grab it, I check it, why? Nothing to do with my game. I'm focusing on my girls, but I'm still here on my phone. We're professionals, we're adults. If it is so easy for us to get distracted in our day-to-day, how easy is it for our children to get distracted in anything we do? How many of you are athletes at any sport, any level, any time in your life? Anybody play sports, anything? Okay, without getting too personal here, right? I grew up playing sports in the late 80s, early 90s. We didn't have phones, we didn't have anything. I was raised by my grandmother. My grandmother paid $45 for me to play Little League. If I struck out, she was pissed. Coach, get him out of there, coach. Okay? Not like that anymore, is it? What happens nowadays when you have a 9-year-old who was born, 2014? Who was born with a tablet in their crib, a Switch, an iPhone at 5 years old, who's always had a screen in front of them, who's always had some sort of interaction in front of them, who does not know a world without technology. And then you tell this kid, hey, guess what? On Saturday at noon, you're going to go play right field for a baseball game. Kidding me? And the ball may get hit to you once a game if you're lucky. And you know who we put in right field. We don't put our best player there. You're going to get one at bat, maybe two if you're lucky. Kid doesn't play, he doesn't practice at home, so what does he do when he goes to bat? 3 pitches, 3 strikes, he's out, back on the bench, right? And what's he doing on the bench? Kid's jonesing for his phone, isn't he? He's jonesing. Where's my Switch? Where's my tablet? Where's my thing? Why? He doesn't want to do this in the heat, does he? And how many mom and dads want to be out there in the heat with them? True or false? Right? I mean, that's the world we live in. If it's not convenient and bite-sized for them, what happens? Disengage. Sir, what sport did you play growing up?
Track.
Track?
Yeah.
So what did you do in your spare time? Did you go run on your own?
Yeah.
Did you work on your craft?
Yeah.
Okay. Our kids have spare time now. What's happening? Bro, I got to get on Fortnite. I got to get in Minecraft. I got to get something. Why? All my friends are there, right? True or false?
True.
Those things right there are our greatest tool that we have and our worst enemy that we have when it comes to developing people. And it's hard because I don't know if we realize it now. I have a 13-year-old nephew, plays online all the time. I'm a gamer myself. I played video games since I was a little kid. I love video games. Still play them all to this day. He views esports the way I viewed the NBA growing up. It's nothing out of the ordinary for him, right? He knows all the names, all the popular Twitch streamers, all the YouTube guys. He knows all that stuff right there, right? I give him a choice between going out and playing basketball with me for real or playing 2K. What's he going to pick? So here's my thought. Let's change it. Let's change the way we view sports. Let's change the way we do things. Because if we don't, we're going to lose out to this technology. And I think we're already losing out to it as it speaks, right? And maybe there's a way for the technology and our sports to go hand in hand. So I'm going to talk about a little bit right here. switches over. I kind of ran my mouth about technology, and technology kind of came back and bit me in the butt, didn't it? There we go. Ignore that one for now. All right, real quick, what are small? Oh! Learn not to run my mouth about sports and about technology anymore, right? Here we go. Back up there.
There it is.
Thank you. All right, bear with me and get a bit glitches out, whatever, we'll figure it out. What are small size sports? What's changed over the last 20 years? What are the pros and cons and changing how we view the sporting experience? We all know this stuff right here, right? I'm gonna give you a quick overview. Small size sports. We're not playing 11v11 soccer, we're playing 3v3 soccer, 4v4 soccer. We're not playing 5v5 basketball, we're playing 3v3 basketball. We're not playing 9v9 baseball. We're playing 4 against 4 against 4. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. What about flag football? How many flag football people do we have in here? We got options, right? We can play 4v4, 5v5, 6v6, 7v7. What rules do we have to adhere by? It's our program. Run it however you want to. And if you don't innovate, somebody else will. Did it change again? All right, now I'm getting the hang of this thing. All right. Exact same thing I just said. What do parents want? True or false? Hypothetically, I don't have any kids. I can't afford them. I work for Parks and Rec. Kids are expensive. But I have a kid. He's not very good. Throw him in the soccer team, right? Plays defender, stays in the right back. He's like me, heavy, back, slow, can't run, can't kick a ball. He's back there. Is he ever going to score a goal? Is he ever going to do anything highlight worthy? No, I know he's not. He's not that great of a kid. It's all right. He's good at something else, right? But man, I sure would love to post on Facebook, hey, Marco scored a goal today. Fantastic, right? Not for him, who cares what he's thinking, but I want my justice, right? I want my likes. How many of y'all know parents like that? Right? They're out there, aren't they? They want to show off. Look, he got 3 hits today. Fantastic, right? They want that. Parents who played sports, what do they want for their kids ultimately? Down the road. They want their kid to be better, right? They want their kid to do what? They want their kid to develop. In theory. What's that?
Get a scholarship.
Get a scholarship. Oh my God, man, if I had any kids would get a scholarship. They want to develop though. That's what at least they should. In theory, right? They should. Coaches, what do we want from our players? To develop. How does a player develop? Practice. We use one simple word in soccer, and I think we can apply it to almost every sport. The more touches they get, the more they develop. The more at-bats they get, the better they are at hitting. The more touches they get in soccer, volleyball, anything, the more touches on the ball, the better they become, right? But again, in our traditional sports landscape, do our kids get as many touches as they could? Who gets the touches in the game? Let's picture basketball game, 5v5 basketball. Who gets the touches? Point guard, right? How about the biggest kid? The best kid? Who's taking 30 shots a game? He is, right? So what happens to our other 4 players? One, if it comes to him, it bounces to him, he shoots it, and what happens? What's the best player do? He yells at him, how come you didn't give it to me? And then the parents are like, get that kid out. Wins over development, right? But if we go to 3v3 basketball, kids open in the corner, right? And how many of us grew up in the parking lot? 3, 2, 1, get that shot off. We all did that, right? He's got a chance to do it. And if he doesn't do it in this game, no problem. We have another 5 or 6 games coming up within the next 2 weeks where he can do it, right? But what if 28 over here is the star player? How do we get the ball out of his hands? He's got to bring the ball in one time, every once in a while, right? So he's got to give it to somebody else. 3v3 basketball does what for us? We can make smaller teams. We can charge less, and parents love that. We can have more games going on in the same amount of space than we could somewhere else. I can have smaller leagues, which generates more revenue, right? Because now we are doing high volume, even if it's a less margin. Biggest kid isn't always getting the rebound in 3v3, right? Because he might be outside. The kids who can't run up and down the court, and there are plenty of those, isn't having to run up and down the court. But where are they all getting? More touches. Take it to volleyball. Volleyball is a tough one because if you have one kid that can serve like at middle school, what happens? That's it, right? That's pretty much it. So one kid serves, boom, 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 gets her 15 points, whatever. So the kid who doesn't know how to serve very well, right, who needs the development, gets their one serve, hits into a net. All right, she's got to wait how many more rotations to get in there to serve, if she gets in there to serve that day. Let's go 4v4. Let's go 3v3. Why not? The technology exists. We can get smaller nets. We can change the court. We can do whatever we want because it's our program. This isn't governed by USA Volleyball or anything like that. We can do whatever we want. We're Parks and Rec. We're subsidized by the taxpayers. We can do it. This young man over here, who may be in traditional volleyball, may not get as many opportunities to bump, spike, or set, now gets it here, right? And again, what's happened? We shrunk the court, so now I can have a game here and a game here. More touches, more opportunities for him to do exactly this. Mom to get the picture, throw it on Facebook, now we all win. I like flag football. I don't like playing it, that's too much running. It's hot in Texas. But I like watching a little bit, I like sitting sideline, right? Who's quarterback? Coach's kid? Coach's kid, he's got the big arm, right? Okay. So we're going to play 5 downs, regardless of what happens. We got 5v5. Each kid gets a chance at QB. If he throws an interception, get the ball back to that same team, they start all over again. Still have their 5 downs. Why not? Because are we in here to develop winning and losing right now? No, we're in here because kids play. That's why they come to Parks and Rec sports, isn't it? If they wanted to play travel ball, they'll go to a travel club. But what's wrong with saying, hey, guess what? For these 5 downs, each one of you gets to be a quarterback. Even if he can't throw. He can't throw, he's going to get better at some point. Otherwise, what do you do with that kid? You stick him out wide, you say run, and they'll never throw the ball to him. We know that. Why? Kids are cruel sometimes. You're open, and there's a reason you're open. Right? But now we rotate. We rotate, right? Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets one chance. So, is that fair to the star player? No. The star player has the opportunity to go play somewhere else if he wants to. How many of you have met parents and kids who say, I want to play, but I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to play because I'm nervous. I hear that a ton as girls go in from 6th grade to 7th grade. I want to play volleyball, but I don't know how. In our program, at least, the way I look at it, Parks and Rec should be the safest place in the city for them to play. Everybody's going to get a medal. Everybody's going to win. Everybody's going to get whatever. And if, as a parent, they don't like that, that's fine. There's 5 other travel clubs they can go play at next door. We don't want that person. We want the 6th grader who wants to play volleyball for the first time, but is scared, because you can come in here because there's going to be other 6th graders who are scared who's going to play this as well, and it's fine. And then when you go back to your books to look at your revenue, that $80 the travel player paid and the $80 the recreational player paid, both the same. Only difference is we tend to keep that recreational player. And then what happens with that? What snowballs from that? Your daughter had a great experience, right? Your oldest daughter had a great experience with us, right? Fantastic. What's going to happen to your younger daughter?
She's going to want to do what her sister did.
Your $80 went into $160, right? Because I just now acquired another customer. Let's keep it going, right? And then hopefully you're going to share it with your friends. Hey, you know what? I know that she's new, she's nervous. Come put her with this group. You'll enjoy it. Why not? You're our best advertiser, right? Giving them a good program sells itself, right? This is unique. Anybody heard of speedball? This is different. I haven't tried it fully yet, but I will. And I'm going to make some changes to it, though. I grew up as a basketball player. I thought I was going to play for the Spurs. Then I realized I can't jump or run or anything. I played soccer and I was terrible, and I ended up being a soccer coach. I was a pretty good football player, and I was a very good baseball player. I loved playing baseball. I grew up in the ranch outside of Lockhart, 180 acres of land with my grandparents who knew nothing about sports and no neighbors. So every night, take a tennis ball, throw it against the wall, hit it on the rebound. Every night, throw it against the roof, catch pop flies. Why? Because I didn't have a phone to go sit on. I didn't have even a Nintendo. We had, 3 channels on TV back then, remember? And one of them was Telemundo, and I didn't know Spanish. And if the president was on, man, we didn't get anything. But I was outside swinging every day. And I played first base, because that's where they put the tall kid, right? Playing with first base, and I was pretty good. And I love playing baseball. But I saw people get away from baseball. And eventually, baseball saw people getting away from baseball, right? Because what? It's boring. A lot of times at the very core, it's boring, except for the batter, the pitcher, the catcher. There's times when nobody else is involved. Let's change it. I'm gonna have you 4 as a team. Cool? Give me a name. Anything. Where are y'all from?
San Antonio.
San Antonio, give me a name.
Can we just be the Flying Chanclas?
The Flying Chanclas? That's trademarked, but yes, y'all can be.
Yay.
And let me give y'all 4 a team right here. You 4. What do you got? Where y'all from? Where y'all from? The Flying Chanclas.
Yes, that's the special name for the Mission
Yeah.
baseball team.
Laredo?
That
Give me a
plays
name
right
here.
next to our
Those
office.
Raspas.
Nelson Wolf is the.
And I'm gonna have you 4 back there. Those chupacabras back there. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. You 4 are gonna bat first, all right? Cool. You guys will bat first. You 4 play in the infield, all right? Third base, shortstop, second base, first base, okay? And you 4 back there, right field, center field, left field, and you're gonna pitch. But you're not gonna actually pitch. I don't want some 9-year-old there who doesn't have an arm throwing baseball. No. I'm gonna put a pitching machine right there, because every pitch is gonna be right down the middle. Why? I want the kids to tee off. I want you guys to hit. I want the ball in play. You're there to field, right? The pitcher's mound area. Who's catching? Umpire's catching. Make him earn his money, right? Finally. So you 2 teams are going to work together, right? To get these guys out. After 3 outs, y'all going to go infield, outfield, batting. Same thing. First base, second base, third base, whatever, right? Shortstop. All bit, right? You guys change out there. Cool, right? Again, pitching machine right down the middle because I want the ball in play. I want every kid to have a chance to field the ball, catch pop flies, and I want every kid teeing off and hitting, just raking. Not worried about a pitcher learning how to throw a curveball at 9 years old. I don't care about that. I don't want a catcher to have to sit back there with the gear at 110 degrees. Are you kidding me? Let the umpire do that. We're paying them, right? You guys hit. Cool. 3 outs, whatever. You guys come to hit now, right? So the next time we rotate, instead of you playing first, second, third, and short, right? You're going to second. You're going to third. You're going to short. You're going wherever, whatever. You're not pitching anymore after the first inning, right? He's going to pitch after the first inning. You're out left field, right field, whatever. Every kid, every position. Why not? How many at bats you going to get?
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Which means mom and dad has how many more chances to get that picture? Which means
4 times a hit.
exactly. Which means that kid who can't hit has a better chance of getting lucky and hitting one, right? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But we take traditional baseball, we remove the constraints from it, right? We remove the boring parts of it, right? We take out the little pieces of wheat and the Lucky Charms, and we just leave the marshmallows. Sells better, doesn't it? It's not a replacement for baseball. It's a supplement for baseball. What does that mean? This isn't going to replace travel ball. There's still going to be hundreds of people at Olmos Park playing baseball, right? But what about in those months between spring ball and fall and summer ball, right? Maybe there's a 2-month window in there. Why not? I only need a team of 4 or 5. I get 15 players. I have a game. I don't need 18 to 20 now from a 99 game. And everybody's involved. Everybody's active, right? How engaged is that child going to be now? Because he knows that as soon as they get through this inning, I'm back on deck to hit again. Maybe we have a substitute, maybe we don't. We'll figure it out, right? But again, we're not restrained by the traditional stuff. We have an opportunity to be innovative. This is something I developed myself. Again, I'm a soccer person. A few years back, I took a job, and the people before me had entered an agreement with the U.S. Soccer Federation that they would run a soccer program. The guy who agreed to that had no idea how to run a soccer program. And he wanted to run soccer in July in Texas outdoors. I said, nah, man, can't do that, right? Let's change it. Let's figure something else out, right? What's the first thing about Texas? We want to be, what, indoors, right? I do, at least. We changed a couple of things. This is my soccer program right here. Give it a minute and a half. There was a really good soundtrack to this. I don't know why it's not playing, but it was a bad one, trust me. What do we see here?
No goalie.
You don't see a goalie scoring?
No goalie. The dad who filmed it has a daughter on the light blue team, by the way. No goalie, which means what?
More goals.
More goals. That's what we want. If every game ends like 14-12, I'm thrilled. How many touches were they getting?
A ton.
Every player was getting involved, right? They had to get involved. They couldn't hide. It's indoors. We play 2 20-minute halves, 1 minute halftime. This isn't for coaches to come here and teach them all about soccer. This is for them to play. But what's great about that? You bring your daughter in to play, 45 minutes, you're going to be out. If I had to schedule 2 games in the same day, it's not a huge deal. Everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's touching the ball. Why don't I have goalkeepers? Well, first of all, let's say he's a really good soccer player and I'm not. And coach says, hey, Joe, you're in the goal because you're the biggest kid right here. And I stand here like this, and he hits a shot, hits me in the face. I'm done for the year, right? I don't want that. I don't want a goalkeeper. There's a box right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a black line and these 2 white lines. Nobody's allowed to go in there. I want kids scoring. I want everybody scoring. You know what's crazy about my league is I ran my league now 6 years, so 12 seasons. And we've given out 1 yellow card in that time, no red cards, 0 parent complaints. Why? Because we told them, hey, this is what this is. This is how it is. If you don't like it, that's cool, no problems. Go for it, play somewhere else, that's fine. But this is what this is for. It's for the players to play. And I bring in the coach. I know all the coaches. You know, we're all club ball. Our club teams use it because we run this in January and February when there's no club soccer going on. And we run it in June and July when there's no club soccer going on. So this is a supplement to their outdoor. They use this as training. You know what's crazy about this? Is we don't give out trophies. We don't really even keep standings. And nobody cares. I've had games where one team's only had 3 people and they've had 6, and the guy goes, take one of my kids and put them on your team. Hey coach, I only have 3 guys tonight. Do you mind if I ask her to play because from the last game? Yeah, go ahead, whatever. We play. You know what's cool? This ball cost me like $25 and this thing cost me like $60. I think I spent like $250 in the whole program over 12. Yes, sir.
How many refs do you have?
One ref. One ref. And it's cool, and the refs like it because, again, we're Parks and Rec, so we can pay a little more. But it's indoors. He kind of stands at midfield. There's not a lot of fouls to call. They know the rules pretty well. He does like 6 or 7 games in a day. And I also am in charge of the referees in the Coastal Bend. So I bring in like real adult referees. Like I don't bring in like staff members. I bring in like real referees. So they help keep things going.
What's the rate for them?
We pay them $20 a game. $20 a game, and if I give them 4 games, I've given them as many as 8 games, which is tough, but you know, 20 a game for a 45-minute game.
That's what I was gonna ask. Two 20-minute halves?
2 20-minute halves, 1 minute halftime. And here's what's crazy. Here's my favorite part of it. We schedule games. We schedule a 41-minute game and a 45-minute window. 12, 12:45, 1:30, 2:15, right? As soon as your 2 teams are done, thanks, get out. You 2 guys are up, let's hop in, right? Parents love it. And then, so you know what happens? Let me tell you what happens now. I'm gonna tell you 2 stories real quick on this. I'll tell you 2 stories on this real quick. The first story is about David. David was an 8-year-old with autism who came to us. Never played sports in his life. Cool. Take him. Whatever. First 2 games, David doesn't want to get on the field, on the court. Scared, fast. I understand that, right? 3rd game, our referee says, David, come with me. Ball goes out of bounds. David, kick it in. All right, cool. Kicks it in, right? Ball goes out of bounds again. This time it's the air team's ball. David runs over, grabs it, puts it down, kicks it in again. All right, cool, whatever. Every time the ball went out of bounds that game, regardless of whose ball it was, David went over there and kicked it in. Nice, right? Everybody's happy, everybody's loving David. Mom and dad are kind of in shock because now David's not the 8-year-old with autism. David's an athlete now. So we want goals to be scored. So there is no indirect kicks. Everything's direct. You can score off the kickoff, the kick-ins. You can score off anything. With no goalies, next week David kicks it. Ball rolls by everybody, right into the net. And everybody, both teams are jumping on David, right? All right, cool. About 10 minutes later, same exact situation happened. He kicks it towards the goal, goes by everybody, goes in the back of the net. I look at him, David looks at me and goes, "That's what I do, coach." David was no longer the 8-year-old autism. David was an athlete. Still gives me goosebumps thinking about that, right? Because where else is that kid going to get that? He goes play travel soccer, select soccer. What's going to happen to him? He's going to get lost in the weeds, isn't he? But with us, for that season, David was the MVP. I can't even tell you what team he played on. I think he ended up playing with everybody at some point. Who cared? At the end of the season, they all got a shirt. They all got a little something, whatever, right? But we're flexible because in our under 10 division, we had some really competitive teams. And you picture this right here. It's a small gym, right? Picture a basketball court. They go basketball, inline basketball court. So you know how travel teams kind of travel, the parents and everybody, right? It gets loud in our gym. It gets intense. So I'm watching the game one day, and it's two 12-year-old teams going back and forth, just battling each other out. It's like 6-6 at the end of the game, right? And it's a tie. My rules, my gym. Nah, no ties. 4 minutes, first goal wins. Oh, all right. Every shot that gets taken, picture this is the goal right here, right? It just goes by the edge of the goal. The crowd's just like holding breath. Like it's intense, but it's intense the right way. Finally, your kid scores a goal, right? His team comes on the court and mobs him. They dogpile him mid-court. And the other team's on the ground like this, like, oh, I can't believe it. For a meaningless Tuesday night recreation game. But we can be innovative. We can change that, right? And I don't know how familiar you are with outdoor soccer, but walk-off goals are not common. But in ours it is. Why? Why not? So that mom gets to post that picture of her kids scoring the game-winning goal and her teammates jumping on them and stuff like that, right? Oh, how thrilled do you think that mom was? How thrilled do you think that team was, right? The other team even took it to him like, man, like that was a devastating loss for us in a league where we give them a t-shirt. But it's cool, it's fun. So guess what happens now? Word gets out. I don't have to market it at all now, right? I think last year we ended up with 35 teams among all of our age groups, right? And we just run game, boom, 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 boom. And they love it. The ball we use is heavy, so it doesn't bounce, so the kids aren't kicking the heck out of it, right? And again, with everybody scoring, there was a need in the marketplace to fill this, and we filled it. Now we're the only program, I think, at least in the state, that does it like we do, like this right here, right? I've been invited to go speak about it at U.S. Nationals, and I spoke about it in Frisco at last year's Traps. How easy is that to set up somewhere? You need a gym, need 2 goals, heavy ball. We don't even give them the uniforms. Look, they're in their club uniforms there. All in, less than $500, including our referees. We charge $250 a team for 5 or 6 people. They get 6 or 7 games a season. They're all on Sundays too. That's crazy. All of our games are on Sundays. It works out. And we'll start at noon because of church, obviously, right? And we'll just go every 45 minutes. It's like 6:30, 7:40, or 7:15ish, whenever. And they're just playing nonstop. Watch the high school kids, man. It's fun, back and forth, right? A lot of scoring. That's what we want. Because soccer, I love coaching, but man, it can be deadly boring sometimes. My team on Saturday won 10-0 down in Corpus, and I sat there just going. Texas game starts in about 15 minutes. But this right here, it's enjoyable. It's fun.
Where do you get the ball from?
Academy. Academy has them. Like $20. Like I said, they don't bounce. They don't do anything like that because I think that the younger kids soccer, you see the ball, they kick it up in the air and everything goes everywhere, right? And now we want the ball to stay on the ground. It's a little bit heavier. It doesn't really bounce a lot, right? They can still kick it pretty well. A little bit small. And those soccer balls have lasted us, man, for a long time.
We use the foam balls.
The foam ones?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? I mean, there's a lot of options. Again, you can do it however you want to do it, right? We found these worked out really well because they don't beat up our floor too much. They were easy to get to. And teams that they want to go buy some, they can just go to Academy and buy some as well.
Are those the ones that's kind of like a tennis ball, like felt?
No. These are actual futsal balls. So they have a, I don't know if it's leather or, not leather, but the synthetic covering. And then they just weigh, probably an extra, few ounces. So when you drop them, they don't actually bounce up. They stay down on the ground. And I think they're all size 4 balls, so they're not the full size ones. They're about that big or so. Boy, it's crazy because we make innovations to our programming, we make innovations to our games, and it's spilling over to the, I don't want to say real world, but it's spilling over to big time stuff. This is the Kings League. Anybody know who Gerard Piqué is? Played for Spain, he played for Barcelona, dated Shakira for a long time, that's how most people know him. He invested in something called the Kings League. Kings League, if you can see this picture right here, it's on a full-size soccer field. They only use maybe a third of it, 2/3 of it, something like that, right? And they have the smaller size field, and it's 7v7. And the teams aren't owned by traditional owners. They're owned by streamers, Twitch streamers and YouTubers and all sorts of stuff, right? 238 million monthly views. It's a huge number right there, right? CBS doesn't get those kind of numbers on stuff. 90,000 people at Camp Nou. Millions in sponsorships. You know who broadcasts these games? It's not on ESPN. It's going to be on Twitch. It's going to be on Discord. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be Twitter. It's going to be Instagram. It's going to be everywhere else. TikTok, Snap. It's going to be on every social media platform. Why? Because how many people in this target audience actually sit down on the sofa and watch TV now?
Nobody has cable anymore.
Huh?
Nobody has cable.
Nobody has cable anymore, right? I don't know if y'all know, a couple of weeks ago, ESPN had disputes. Disney had a dispute with Spectrum Chargers Cable, and I missed the Longhorn Alabama game.
Yeah.
But it was on YouTube, if you knew where to look. And I sat there and watched it on YouTube, and I went, why am I paying Spectrum anymore? I watched the Raiders and Steelers last night on NBC app on my phone. My brother has a 53-inch TV in the living room. I watched it on my phone. Those days are dying. They don't care if this isn't picked up on ESPN. Why? Because they're giving the content right to the people. So here's what they did with this thing. This was crazy, right? 5 golden cards. Every so often they get to go pick a card out of the referee's hand. And they might give an instant penalty. They might take a player off. You might score a goal that counts twice. Whatever. Bonuses. What does that remind you of?
Video games.
Video games, right? They just changed it because the demographic they're targeting is not us. It's that 11 to 14-year-old kid who doesn't see this as extraordinary. We look at this and go, what the hell? Can you imagine Mike Trout going to the umpire picking a card? Wembayamba saying, hey, I get a card to get 2 automatic free throws now? We can't grasp that concept, but 11 through 14-year-old can. Because it's the same thing that happens in video games, right? What happens when they play Call of Duty? X amount of kills, you get a better gun. I know, because during COVID, I spent hours playing Call of Duty. It works for them. They don't care if people aren't showing up to watch you on cable. They have their own audience. How much do you think those streamers make a year? I have another cousin who went to University of North Texas up in Denton, who made $150,000 a year playing Super Smash Brothers. And it was crazy. He'd come on stage, sponsored, all sorts of, gear and controller sponsor names on his shirt and his jersey and stuff like that. And he told me he had to retire at 20. You know why he had to retire at 20? He was too slow. Everybody else was younger and faster. But his fans knew who he was. Just the way we know sports figures, the next generation knows streamers. This league works for them because it still takes the sport that they want to love and watch, but they give it to them in bite-sized pieces. But we see that now in our rec centers, don't we? How many of you have access to this stuff right here? You know what these are? You're nodding your head. What you got?
We don't have it, but I've seen them before.
You've seen it, right?
I've seen the tennis one, I've seen one for boxing.
Uh-huh. How about you, ma'am?
Well, we were in the process of obtaining it for our centers,
Mhm.
but of course the Xbox used to have it, but
The
obviously
Kinect.
The
Nintendo-
Connects, right?
Yeah. Next.
So these are more interactive walls. They can change everything right here, right? Man, if you ever just go on YouTube and see some of the cool stuff they're doing with this right here, I'm not gonna harp on it too much, right? But what does this do that traditional sports don't do? Look at this young man up here.
You can play individually.
Play individually. I don't have to be out in the heat.
Adjusted it.
I can adjust it I can do whatever I want with it, right? It's gonna be a high upfront cost, but what's gonna happen at the end? You're gonna get that back, right? Because your customers and your clients are gonna keep coming back to use this kind of stuff right here, right? This young lady can train by herself indoors in the comfort of the gym without having to be outdoors, without even needing a goalkeeper. Put her work in right there, right? There's a company, I can't remember their name, but they're doing things with mathematics right here, right? Where if you see it, you know, there's a math problem on the board up here, and a bunch of equations, you got to throw the ball and hit the correct equation. Stuff like that, right? And our kids, again, not out of the ordinary from them, they expect this kind of stuff now, don't they? What if I take these two young ladies right here, right, and say, hey, we're not gonna do these math problems, we're gonna do math problems on the old purple and white board right here, right? Remember those little papers that we used to pass out, right? How much fun is that?
They're leaving.
Right? What are they gonna do? They're gonna do math problem and phone, right? But we see it even bigger, don't we? How many of you done this? Come on, date night, we know how it is, right? When's the last time you took your young lady or young man out to Top Golf? Or axe throwing? Or this new one right here, this one, you see this one up here with the baseball? Hitting base like Top Golf with baseball right here, right? What about chicken and pickle? Pickleball, next big sport, right? What did pickleball do?
Downsize
It shrunk.
the court.
Was it?
Downsize the court.
You downsized the court, it shrunk it, right? And said what?
Smaller court. You can add more courts on there. Less people needed. Higher volume, higher revenue.
Man, you should give my speech up here. Exactly it. Yeah, exactly. They opened up to a new demographic, right? Because, you know, we have some of our more senior people playing this now. They took a sport, a very traditional sport, and said, we're going to take away all the running and just focus on the racket skill. And everybody's like, oh, I can do that. Because what took people away from tennis?
The physical.
I hated the running part of tennis. You know, my girlfriend used to play tennis all the time with me, and she beat the hell out of me. Because she just kicked the ball right there, and I'd be like, that's not good. And they had to walk to the fence over here, right, engage. She's like, all right, you serve, not serve it into the other. It's just got, nah. Well, tennis, we could play all day. Play this all day, huh?
Predicted by 2034, there'll be more 65-year-olds than there will be newborns.
I believe it. Absolutely. This is the fastest growing sport in the country by far. And I'm going to throw this part out there, right? The demographic that plays this sport tends to have what?
Money.
Disposable income, right? So now I combine the athletic part of it with the social aspect part of it, right? Now what happens? Now we have something, right? Back in the day we had, was it beach volleyball? Remember that? Like the little beach volleyball bar and grills? Change it down right there, right? Axe throwing, who thought that would have got popular? But it did. By the way, real quick, read these two names right here. That's outstanding marketing. If you can't read, it says back that axe up and kick axe. Two names that you'll probably remember down the road right there, right? I'm gonna leave this up for a second. It's who I am, whatever. Not important. You wanna get a hold of me, get a hold of me. But we have about, huh?
Who's the guy that died?
Oh man, I got dared on that. That was just, yeah, no. I still have the YouTube how to tie a tie every single time. I ain't gonna lie. I coached basketball for a while. We had a game. I said, Coach, look nice, and I said, all right, I'll do it for once. Yeah, I think after that, there's another picture of me back in my t-shirt and shorts. But here's what I'm gonna ask y'all to do, if you don't mind. Let's play a game. I didn't bring these up here for no reason. We all had lunch. Just move around. Tiny bit, not much. I promise, not much, not much. I'm gonna ask you guys to move all the chairs over here, please. And I want these tables lined up sideways. Same thing over here, if you don't mind. Bring them over, yeah, over here. Bring them over here. All the chairs over here. Thank you for giving the phone part. Thank you. Move all your stuff out of the way because this is going to get wild. No, it really won't get wild. Just like that, exactly. Just like Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. These, yeah. There are no real rules to this. I'm making it up as we go along, so bear with me, but we're good. You can bring up a little more. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Side is perfect.
Brittany, I'm putting your stuff back here.
All right, so I want you guys on this side to take a seat, if you don't mind. So all of y'all over here, and all of y'all over here. And give me like 2 people over there. Hit him in the head. No, enough lawsuits already with that, right? Simple stuff. Off the table to this side right here, right? Keep it up in the air, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, keep it up in the air, right? Hit it to somebody, I don't care who. Just get somebody else. And then just try to hit it up the table back there. Simple, right? Very simple. So yeah, keep it up. Try to get it over the table. Yep, yeah, that's fine. So we have one over here, right? Let's have this young lady serve over here. Let's have her. So just throw it across the table, bounce on the table, right? Hit it somebody, whatever. You guys keep it up, right? Let's play. Yeah, try to keep it. Yeah, move. You can move around. That's fine. Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, Well, let's try to keep it up. I prefer if it didn't bounce on the floor, but just we'll bear with it. There you go.
We'll play the lunch. So makes sense.
Hey, there you go. So, makes sense? Go ahead and keep going for 2 minutes.
Throw another ball in the mix.
I want to tell Sarah this got really competitive. That we had a couple of fights break out. They got too crazy. So, solid, right? Hold on. Solid, not bad, right? Hold the ball for a second. Not bad, right? But how many touches did we get? Each of us individually? A couple, not many, but a couple. So if I can get you two here and you two here on this table, and then y'all 2 or 3 here, and y'all 2 or 3 here on this table right here, right? And then y'all 2 or 3 here. I'll get our ball back one. By the way, 5 of those things are fantastic. And one more for that last table over there. Please up to them, please over there, please. Sorry about that. Let's play the same exact way, but try and keep it on your table. Yeah? Go ahead. So try and keep it on the table in front of you. You're playing here.
We're all being nice. Everything on body wants to do that.
I am going to send this to all your bosses to show how productive we were today.
Oh, sorry.
Now freeze 1 second. Hold the ball for 1 second. Hold the ball for 1 second. All right there? Okay.
Yeah, I got the back.
All right. You good there? No injuries in this place. I don't have insurance. All right. Why don't y'all two go down there, and then y'all just shift over. Play some of you new. No, y'all stay. Y'all stay. Y'all stay. Play somebody new now for a second, right? Here, when you're ready, go ahead. Look at this. Hey, she's trying to get a scholarship. You got it? We'll go from there 2 minutes.
On top of the table,
Thank you. I just forgot all out of our contacts today.
All right. Freeze a second, please. All right. If we can put everything back the way it was, if you don't mind, thank you. And then we'll finish up our. Thank you. Y'all just missing all the fun stuff. We had a little workout going on. So let's talk about that for a second. The practical applications to that right there, right? The first game we played where we had everybody lined up, right? How many touches did we get? Again, not as many as we possibly could have, right? We had one person serve over there, when she lost the serve, we went over here, right? And just rotating. I think we had 9 people on each side. So how long would it have been until you served again? It's been a while, right? Because everybody's got to go through it, right? But when we switched it up to the second aspect of it, right, we broke it down to a smaller bit, right? What happened then?
Got way more touches.
Got way more touch on the ball, right? So, I mean, that's a game that, there's no development to it, but the concept still stands, right? To me, it would be more fun to play the second version we played instead of the first one, right? But the first one, the ball's way over there, and it may never get to me. And I'm going to stand here. And what am I going to do when I stand here? Grab my phone. I'm going to check out. But the second version, could you check out?
You couldn't.
You really couldn't, right? What if we had done 2 tables, 2 and 2, right? So now there's more space each person to cover. So one person can't really hog the game. Both people have to contribute, right? So again, both people are not only getting touches, they're getting meaningful touches. That's the whole dynamic of it, right? That's the whole idea of it. Let's take what was here and break it down to the smaller bits. Y'all ever seen a candy called just the good part, just the good piece? It's a candy that is a waffle cone, and it's just the bottom bit of the waffle cone. They're fantastic because you don't have to work through the whole ice cream to get to that last little bite. And this company takes them and says, "We're just going to sell you this bottom part." I don't know what they do with the rest of it. I don't care what they do with the rest of it. The bottom part's the best part right here, right? Our concept is we want to give our athletes just the best part of the game now. Take out the boring stuff. Take out all the filler. Get our players involved more. Get them developed more. Because even if that kid doesn't stay in that sport, the moments that they had in that sport were still meaningful. And maybe by just giving him those small pieces, we've opened his eyes to some other way to view that sport. Take any questions if anybody has any. If not, my contact information here. Again, the whole theme of it, my phone's always on me. Email me, call me, text me, whatever you want. Get a hold of me if you need help with anything. From the city of Corpus Christi, if you're ever down there, come visit, come say hello. This is what we're trying to do with our athletes now. This is what we're trying to do with our recreation programming now. And I think if we don't do it now, somebody else will. And I think we lose out on those athletes. Guys, thank you. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is your athletic effort trying to focus on youth, or is it also adults? Because I can imagine that having some of those for adults could be just as.
So in Corpus Christi, we are limited at facilities. If I was in San Antonio, Austin, or man, I don't know how many of y'all went to Frisco last year. Went to Frisco Parks and Recs up there. Their buildings, their facilities are insane, right? We could do it more for adults. I've had tons of adults come say, "Hey, Joe, we want a soccer program that you have for them." Okay, eventually I'll get there for y'all. It's just hard to find the space and the time to do it. We only have 2 gyms, and one of those gyms is small. So our primary focus right now is on our youth. But again, why do 7v7 adult flag football when I can do 4v4 adult flag football? Why do under 20s full court basketball when I can do over 43v3 basketball and have less drama? In theory.
For the most part.
What about 4v4v4 speedball slow pitch? There's options. We're only limited to by whatever we want to come up with, right? And here's the cool part. You try a program, it doesn't work. Oh, well. Try it. You try a program, it does work. You're the only person in the market doing that. Be innovative, be creative, try it. Screw up, you screw up. It happens. Make it work. Anything else? Guys, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.